Welcome back, everybody. As you can see on your screen, the geniuses are living evil, saying Dignitas is just a big old walking trash can after one game.
I love it. I was asking at the end of the regular season, I was just like, EG have just been smashing everybody. Where is the EG flair? Where is the trash talk? Where are the flamethrowers?
Right there.
They're delivering.
They
now,
don't need
baby.
no flamethrowers.
That's
Just
what
a
I
big
like
old
to
trash
see.
can with Spider-Man tights.
When they're winning, you need to start flaming too.
Oh yeah. You got to talk your trash.
I will say, start flaming a little earlier, preemptively before it's smash. But
True. Yeah. The flame goes a lot further. It's like you automatically get to double all previous flame as soon as you start winning. So you got to make that investment. Flaming is a lot like investing. So the next time that you want to make an investment in yourself or your own life, just remember to talk your trash before.
And remember, PSA as always, when we're promoting flaming, keep it clean, keep it about the game, not the personal.
Don't
Don't
actually
get
flame
weird.
random people. You're only supposed to flame your boys. That's the whole point. Like, before I knew Kobe, I wouldn't flame him. That would be me. But now that we're boys, I can flame him whenever.
Every single day, baby.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Right.
That's how we do it.
Let's
We're
get
back in draft.
Back in a champ select here, baby. Let's take a look. Still with the bottom lane focus from EG. I think rightfully so. They're most worried, as we talked about the bottom side of the map of Dignitas. Maybe the bottom lane and maybe a little bit of Acadian, but they looked very confident last game with contracts on the Lee Sin. Early double scuttle crab, controlled a lot of these plays. There was only that kind of one little look there for Dignitas where they tried to pull off their combo in the river and got kited, and from then on it was just all EG all the way. So I want to see a swap of strategy here for Dig.
Okay.
I would recommend for Dig, draft strong skirmishing yourselves and just beat EG at that, okay? EG have not been a consistent team. So lay it down. There we go. That's what I want to see, Fake Out. That is confidence, Draft some strong laners and straight up brawl these people, because EG have entered away games. They have died a tremendous amount themselves. It's not always these clean roll over your opponents.
Right.
If you draft tools yourselves to fight them over these early objectives, then you can turn it right back around.
EG aren't afraid to take risks, and risks by nature can be punished. So Renekton first here for Dignitas, ready to skirmish like you're talking about. Evil Geniuses, they're saying, all right, Danny, you had a pretty nice Varus game there in game number 1. Let's run it back. Let's do it again.
Okay.
They'll lock that one in, as well as the Viego here with Scarin back in the game.
Yeah, EG trying to flex on him. We got two junglers. We can beat them with either hand. My left hand is just as strong as my right hand.
We got the best two junglers in this series. That's the kind of thing Evil Genius is trying to say here with this one. Acadian, though, picking up the Gragas.
Okay, Gragas definitely still very flexible champion. It could easily be moved bottom lane for support for Afromu. Could be jungle for Acadian. I still really like the playmaking that Gragas brings from the jungle, but has dropped off a bit there. Is going to work very nicely if they keep it as a jungle pick with double AD solo laner threats. The Aurelia getting through into the hands of Yasui here. Really, I am just in love with this champion right now. I feel like it is still so strong, even after they gave it a little tap there on the W.
Just a little bonk
still,
with the old nerf back.
It still has a lot of utility as the game scales up. She gets very, very tanky and can be a significantly difficult answer to stuff like Viego, where especially if you've got setup, Gragas body slam is always going to be able to land. You body slam flash, you're going to be able to set up. You CC chain them with your E, and somebody should be dead there. So looks like it's going to be Dig doing just that. They want to out brawl them. They want to scrap, and the bans coming through should be targeted here. Looking at bottom lane, they do pick out Afromu's Alistar right off the bat. Neo's actually going to be next as well on the side here for the EG focus.
Yeah, Afromu being on a playmaker is big. We love to see that for Dignitas, and Evil Geniuses having already drafted a playmaking support of their own. They're saying, all right, we can hit this pool. It's not going to do any harm to us, and we can keep Afromu off of those big enablers. So, Olaf banned away.
Yeah, they're still banning away Olaf, who technically could be flexed as a solo laner for top lane too, but it looks like they're not bought into the idea of Viego primarily being a jungler now.
Right.
So they're covering all bases. They don't want any early power on the side of EG. And they did swap the name back over to contracts. So let me look over at the stage. looks like we still do got contracts up there, so checks out. Doing
Ignore
a
the stuff we said earlier.
Little switcheroo with the graphics.
Yeah, those will happen sometimes. Anyway, also worth pointing out, for those that might not be aware, one of the big reasons for Viego's shift from laning and jungling together to primarily jungling, the sustain on his passive has been nerfed immensely. Starting off, I believe it was initially 150%, but it was at minimum 100 on the healing to minions, then got nerfed down to 50%. That was still too much. It's now 10.
Yeah, it's
10%.
It's actually crazy. So that's why I was a bit surprised by that ban. But, you know, we have seen cases where the majority of players, both in professional and in solo queue, are bought in on a transition of roles like the Nocturne nerfs, you know?
Yeah.
People are like, okay, so this is mainly the jungler now. But Huni, you know, if you have a single player that's going to play it that well, he still drew bans on it after the significant nerfs to the passive. Anyway, catching up here, Lovers duo for the bottom lane for Neo and Afromu. And that is definitely something that you can carry on. You know, from the bottom side. Plus, it gives the Xayah, you know, you have an extra out for Neo. The rest of the team is going to be brawling forward, looking for these engages. They don't have time to protect you against Viego. Yep. And Xayah is one of the best AD carries versus this champion. Viego's all about the resets. He's looking to, you know, get his multiple ult chains, get back to that AD carry. Xayah is one of the few that has an answer. Yeah.
How do we feel about these last two picks here for the side of Evil Geniuses? It will indeed be Viego in the jungle. We've got Gnar in the top lane and Jizuke on Azir.
I personally, whenever I see Jizuke Azir, I just think of him trash talking after he went through this long stretch where he had not played Azir for over a year, and he whips it out, and everyone's like, "Ooh, Jizuke Azir, I want him on, you know, Rise or Echo."
Yeah.
And then he wins the game, and he's like, "What you trash talking about Azir, huh?" I want to see it here once again, proving himself. Definitely, it has options versus Aurelia. This is one where we actually got the Aurelia, it was before the mini rework, but the Q timing with getting pushed back had a little interaction with the Azir ultimate with the soldiers. Regardless, the Azir looks to push you back under the tower if you go super aggressive on him when you are the Aurelia, but Aurelia wants to play off of that kill pressure, should be natural there.
So is this feeling like what you wanted to see from Dignitas, saying at the beginning of the draft that you wanted a change up?
Especially if we get the flash body slams that I'm looking for. If we get if he's out there early and often, you know, body slam flash on the Azir, chain it into the E-stun from Aurelia, and you burst him down, get that kill, get some mid pressure for yourself so you can actually take some control, then that is going to be along the steps that we're looking for Dig to try and fight their way back into this series for themselves, because game number one was undoubtedly a landslide there for Evil Geniuses.
Let's do it. Alrighty, so Dignitas looking to fight their way back into this one. Game number one was not close. Things have to change here in game number two. They've already changed in the draft. Let's see how the game itself ends up shifting here as Dignitas grouped up in a four-man squad in this frontmost brush here in bottom lane.
Not going to catch anybody again. It looks like another swing. Remember last game, the level 1 swing was towards top side. They tried to catch Impact. But as you can see, this is a similar opening. And I kind of like, you know, analyzing these level 1s, especially for the best of 5 series, where last time around they played it super defensively. Impact again is playing super defensively. Up here you can see he wards that side of red, then hovers inside to see if there's the super late behind tri-brush late invade. And EG do a very good job getting intelligence back for themselves with the ward up here onto Raptors. Gragas is one of those champions that you definitely want to keep track of early to see which side he's coming from because of the potency of a body slam flash early gank and how that can actually change these lanes for melee solo laners, which Fake God and Yusui. We spent so much time talking about how these are not power points for Dig, but when you're drafting Renekton and Aurelia solo lanes for yourself with a Gragas AP playmaking jungle, that is where you want to focus. You want to make those lanes volatile, you want to force those skirmishes and try and get some early kills for yourselves.
And a reminder to everybody out there on your screen right now, you can see it if you prefer to hear the cast in Espanol, then tune into FlyQuest co-stream of the LCS on twitch.tv/FlyQuest. Even if they ain't playing, they're still putting on that alternative stream here as Evil Geniuses taking a little bit of damage down here in bottom. Remember back in the days where Zyra Rakan was like an S-tier bottom lane? These two at level 1 were always so scary. They had such incredible damage potential, so it can be difficult to deal with them early on. Up here on the top side, Fake God goes in for a little bit of trading on impact, but the tough part about trading with Gnar is the back end of the trade when you're trying to disengage.
Yeah, and on your point on the bottom side, the big part of that trade was the Guardian from Afromu. Got them a huge health lead in that trade, and they continue to whack away at Danny. And I don't want to let EG off because they have had moments of weakness throughout the course of Summer Split. Some of them have actually come from weak laning stages from Danny and Ignar. And while there is so much hype, and I even voted for Danny, you know, for second team all LCS.
Hey, I had him number 2 as well.
Never mind, we might have a jungle gank. Danny, the one drawback has been laning phase. He's got very low CS numbers, and they have been chunked out consecutively here. Neo, though, now is 0-1 on the run.
Okay, we got plays in 2 different parts of the map. Up here on the top side is First Blood. Over to Dignitas. Oh, and they get another one here in the bottom lane as Neo's about to die to the very last arrow. Danny now trying to deal with Afromu here with a 1v1, but supportal combat fatality.
Honestly, we got both things we wanted. Flowers, Acadian, early body slam on top, ganks for the Renekton. Fake God flashes for it, sets it up for him, and this is one winning solo lane for Dignitas. The problem is that mid lane here been chunked out. Yusui's going to have to use his teleport to get back to lane. He sustained off his Doran shield and chugged through his health potion in order to trade his HP for early CS. Now, though, might need a little bit of relief because Jizuke still has plenty of mana to continue to push here. He's even got contracts walking through to ensure that he can push in the cannon wave.
Contracts looking to double crab here in this game as well. Already got that one there in the top side river, going down to the bottom side river here. Now, looking at summoner spells is also very important after seeing an all-in like what we got in the bottom lane 2v2. The only summoner spell left among these 4 players is Afromu's Flash. So Neo is very vulnerable right now. If Ignar is able to go in, and they have contracts ready for the follow-up.
Yeah, you walked over a ward.
Okay.
So I was trying to put a bright light on that ward. That ward saves lives. Flowers.
Yeah, that ward is keeping people real ready. And right now, as things have calmed down a little bit, we got a sideline report. Dash talked to Peter Dunn. Let's check it out.
Hello, Dash.
I can't hear him.
Game, and with the series already going your way 1-0, yep. I'm curious what is the words you left the team with as you stepped off the stage with this draft?
Just to play more of the same. We have a lot of picks that we've picked over the course of the season. I know one of the narratives about EG is we can only play a few champs, but obviously we've been playing more than these champions in scrims, so we have the opportunity to play some of these today. And yeah, just to remember what we've done in scrims and just continue to follow on from our fundamentals.
Awesome. Some kills already traded, and I know with having you next to me as it happened, you said, uh-oh, this is not good for us as it goes 3-1 in the bot lane. Yep. I am kind of curious from a coaching position, if, for example, we were to insert the ability for you to hit pause, talk to the team right now, what would you tell them to adjust? How should the play change from this point forward to recover from that disadvantage?
Just slow the pace of the game down. I mean, I think that we really hard outscale this game, so we just need to make sure that the game goes at a slow pace.
A lot of people already predicted a 3-0, and yes, it is 1-0 in your favor. I'm curious, did you have the same kind of confidence level, a 3-0 in this series today as the higher seed?
Absolutely not. We're 2-3 against Dignitas this split. They're a real big potential banana peel game, and we just needed to make sure that we had good plans and good fundamentals coming into the series.
Fantastic. Well, again, Peter, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. Don't want to take too much of your time. Let you get back there with Artemis so you can get to tinkering.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Back to you, gents, on the cast.
Banana peel.
I love that. I have never heard that particular phrasing used before, but now Jizuke is going to get dived here in the mid lane, and Yasui takes him down. Here in the bottom, we got another 2v2. Ignar walks it off. Danny goes for the arrow.
Another thing that he mentioned is EG wanted to slow the pace of the game down. Well, we set it up as Acadian is the bus driver for this game, and he wants to keep that pace going full speed ahead, Flowers. He's doing just that. The Gragas is so instrumental in forcing these plays, and you saw it there once again, this time for the other solo laner. So he's doing just his job.
Well, Afromu was about to die here in the bottom lane. Neo as well. Danny looking to keep this going. The feathers fly, and Danny nearly dies to the turret both bottom laners of Dignitas under 50 HP. Tragedy for Evil Geniuses trying to go for that kill there. They always hate to see that. Acadian will see the mist here in his own jungle, but he's not too afraid of contracts. Jizuke rotating over now as well. Acadian does have that control ward over the wall just to keep an eye on that ramp if Evil Geniuses want to try anything else. But this early game is looking pretty good for Dignitas.
Yeah, and now I think we turn the camera towards bottom side because both teams need to reset towards bottom. Both junglers, you know, there's Predator and Flash and level 6 up for Acadian, so he is ready to make some plays towards bottom side of the map. And Contracts here on the Viego is a level behind, but he'll be able to catch up off of, I believe, just one of these camps here up by Gromp and Blue. And should be able to at least get the vision and security to secure Danny and Ignar, at least the capabilities to continue fighting over these waves.
Right. Danny and Ignar just barely missing out on those past couple of kills does feel bad. But again, the game isn't too far apart just yet here. Contracts now level 6, very important on the Viego.
Yeah, perfect. Right off that Gromp, he gets his level 6, so now he can help get this river control. And you see Ignar already putting down his control ward. The entire focus of this game just shifting down to bottom side right now because the rewards are going to be very big. There are no more heals or cleanses on the bottom side. Stun on Jizuka, and there's that sweep under tower that we're talking about.
Yeah, a little bit of a shuffle there, throwing Yusui back underneath the tier 1 turret. The Irelia loses half HP, but remember, it is pretty easy for Irelia to be able to heal up off of minion waves, so I don't expect him to really feel super threatened from that. And considering the opponent's ultimate is down and he's not worried about that divide any longer, things are A-okay here in the mid lane for Dignitas.
Meanwhile, we've got still Acadian there with the level 6 Gragas finishing up on Krugs. Top side is going to be the focus.
Impact going in with a lot of damage here so far. Tries to jump in. Fake God with a flash away with a flash into the wallop. Into the stab in the back with Contract's help. Impact gets it done. Meanwhile, Yusui got a kill on Danny on the other side of the map. We'll get a replay of that one here soon as Dignitas continues looking to play around this bottom side.
You can tell the comms were all in on that one. They are going deep. Contracts uses ult and flash and the flash from Impact there under the tower. They are not letting Fake God get out alive after that one. But that Acadian level 6 with Flash and Ultimate for Gragas does find its mark. So both of them do get paid. It's just on different areas. I would say at this stage, it's very good for Evil Geniuses to actually get the Rift Herald. So their neutral objective is a bit bigger of a reward. But Dignitas find them in the river. Great flash from Acadian over the ultimate and still has enough speed to get into placement for, you know, the cast there with the Predator that is ticking away. So very well done by Acadian. Again, this guy is just, he breathed some life back into Dig after, you know, the roster swaps definitely hurt them and they suffered quite a few losses in the regular season after immediately making some of those swaps for jungle and mid as well. But Playmaker, ever so here for him, still remains true, finds another one, and they do get Dragon number 1.
I think Acadian's been a big bright spot for Dignitas. His performances on this team have been pretty critical for the successes that we have seen them have. And making that play on Danny, finding that kill even through his flash, I always see as it's worth 50% more points, right? Because now he doesn't have that summoner spell next time. Now it's easier to run it back and do it again.
There's so many targets now open on the side of EG with all these flashes blown. So again, the cast from Gragas, very low cooldown. It's going to be right back up. Predator is available for him again too. So you just keep your foot on the pedal, Flowers.
Yeah.
Keep pressing those Predator boots. Run them out and see if you can get one there towards top side now.
So Evil Geniuses are aware that Afromu is right here in this brush. He does pop his sweeper. He'll see that ward, but he will not be able to clear it. Rift Herald ready to charge here in mid lane as Evil Geniuses have a 4-man party to take down first turret. This will now put them in the gold lead, and they have control over this mid lane still. Second charge finds its way into the tier 2 turret, so Evil Geniuses is getting a lot of value. And this is exactly what you were talking about with the neutral objective, and Evil Geniuses coming out on top of that. They made sure to get a good use.
Yeah, and the only thing they give up for it is an extra wave into bottom side where Xayah has pushed in, so some golden experience there onto Neo. He doesn't quite chip away at another tower plate, but is able to at least get themselves a reset. And you can see in mid lane, this is really going to be the biggest win for EG. By taking out this mid lane tower, it reduces the area that they have to actually set up their plays. And Dignitas is the one that wants to continue to throw out these brawly plays with the all-in dive melee trio that they have trying to force, the team fights get pretty difficult for them because of the range discrepancy. It's part of what Peter was referring to when they're talking about outscaling so heavily on the side of EG. You have super long ranges later in the game with a Fed Azir and with a Lethality, or not even Lethality Varus on the side of Danny here coming through, and plenty of frontline to set it up. So Dignitas, they're trying to still force off of these top triangle, Gragas on Renekton and Aurelia, but by losing your mid tower, it makes it a way easier for the wards to creep in for EG and for them to react to these plays.
Yeah, I like how in the first game we saw more of that lethality Varus angle, like what you're talking about, right? Serrated Dirk first item. And now here in the second game, although Danny picked the same champion, it's a very different style in terms of the way he's playing it, right? Lethal tempo with a Noon Quiver mythic item is a very different approach to how you're going to navigate team fights and what sort of target focus you're going to have. Interesting stuff. We'll keep an eye on him as we move forward here.
And part of that is playing off of the CC of his front line. So he's got Gnar and he's got Leona here to try and hold him in place, allow you to get your percentage health damage off. Just very effective against Renekton. Builds health, doesn't build resistances. Neo!
Okay, here's what we're talking about with Xayah being able to protect herself. If that's a different AD carry, she is not feeling good about the state of things there. Acadian and Afro move ready to go in. Acadian throws out the ulti here. Contracts could be in a bad spot. Neo's coming in here with a Gale Force looking to execute him. Contracts at 150 HP. He uses the mist to get away, but Danny will be the sacrificial lamb. Yasui's made his way into the bottom lane, now going for the stun and the outplay underneath the turret, but the chain CC is coming out. Contracts and Ignar want to stand and fight, but the fight is a slaughter, and Neo is the one walking away with the bloody knife. Dignitas, 8-3.
So beautifully and patiently done by Acadian specifically there on the Gragas. Pops his Predator, he waits around with it though, and then he surgically knocks back Contracts into the rest of the team, allowing Neo to use the Gale Force forward. They chunk him down, and they keep them in range for Yasui to complete the collapse on the side of Dignitas. Just really well played with the patience there, not to go all in because you're a squishy Gragas. So he just holds his threatening position on the other side of the lane, then goes in for the body slam. He uses all but 10% of his HP, holding them there, plus knocking back the extra kill. Really well done as far as the timing window and just waiting on their rotation. Initially, Neo with a very good ultimate reaction. Then, Ignar was predicting probably the, flash other way or something right there with his ulti down on bottom side. Doesn't find it, but here it is. So Acadian comes in, he knocks back Contracts, but then he kites away from Danny, and EG actually drawn a little bit further into the lane. Then the heal comes through. Then Acadian goes in to knock out Danny and buys Yasui the time to finish up this chase. He can tank the tower. Yes, we know that. Then they actually drop tower aggro here, so Aframuk is going to pick it up, and he is the one they sacrifice, but it's well worth it to get the extra 2 kills and the tower on top of it afterwards. That is something Dig had to do to push this team comp forward. Because of the champs that they're rotating here, they need to play off this early gold. They've got 1 dragon for themselves, but they have to continue stacking, so that's why Acadian right back out to it.
Yep, the tower is the big thing to me because otherwise Evil Geniuses would be 3-0 in terms of that tower count. It's what's keeping the game so close. Dignitas going after their second Drake of the game. Jizuke finds himself the lone man defending while everybody else isn't there in time. So Dig not only leading in terms of kills, in terms of gold, they now have that 2-0 Drake lead. It will be a Cloud Soul here for this game if they can line up those next 2.
And that is quite useful for Renekton, Aurelia, Gragas combination with Rakan as well. They want hard engage. They want very quick picks with team fights. They want to dogpile on somebody, and the extra movement speed, the extra cooldown reduction for your ultimate actually do have meaningful weight in this game for the side of Dig.
So Evil Geniuses keeping this game pretty close, but still obviously very far behind in kills, just trying to scale up. Again, back to what we heard from the coaching staff of just slow the game down, right? Let it get to the point where you've got the Azir and the Viego just running crazy.
Yasui showed us that they know there's possible dive coming here. They've called over Aframu. He put up his emote of the, oh no, we're going to get dove. There's a teleport on Fake Out a couple seconds away. There it is.
Okay, 2 different TPs showing up. Jizuke could be the target, but he throws Yasui right back. Gets away to safety. Yasui's ready to try to flash follow, but I don't know if that was the right call. Yasui is taken down with a credit going over to Jizuke. Contracts here grabbing the reset, stealing away the enemy body, and now the bodies are gonna pile up, baby. Let them hit the floor. Danny takes another one, and Evil Geniuses run over Dignitas.
Oh, Flowers, when the best laid plans go out the window, Yasui jumps right through that window, my friend. He tries to chase after Jizuke, who did not even have to use his flash still. That was just after the ultimate comes through and knocks you back, and you see the TP answer from Evil Geniuses. I think you just cut it there, okay? Yes, you had this all planned. You threw up your emote. You had Afromu trailing. You knew you were going to get dove, but they didn't get anything out of the initial dive. There was barely any tower shots taken there. There was maybe one, and then both teleports are answered anyway, so is an overreaching move born of the mentality and the team comp they're running, putting pressure on them. They know that they have to continue to force to push this game ahead because they're going to get outscaled. So that's why Dig forced there. That's why Yasui flashes. But when you see those results off the initial teleports, you kind of have to cut the play here, and it gets turned around. So it's really well done by EG because they immediately answer with the teleport of their own. They know, so they even up. It's just a really good ultimate here, and then Jizuke slides out, but he also still has flash. So Yasui, you know what he was going for. They have to snowball. They need these brawly fights, but they're unable to get Jizuke, and then Contracts can also just pick up his soul. So you have to be careful when you're leaving your bodies behind against the Viego. You're also not going to pick up any kills there.
You know what, Kobe? It's playoffs, and I'm not giving them that level of forgiveness anymore. I don't care if I know what they were going for. That flip the switch replay, you know what that was? As Fake God's going to get caught out now. Never mind, we don't even have the time for an anecdote. We only got time for a team fight. We only got time for another 2 kills over to the side of Evil Geniuses. They will continue chasing Dignitas, and oh so fortunately, the chase will also lead them up here towards this top lane. They can address that wave. They can keep chasing these guys down. Afromu tries to get away over the wall here with a grand exit. Ignar and Contracts still there, but they will not be able to catch him in time.
Is the sun setting already, my friend? Is the Captain Flowers timers up on Dig?
I'm just saying, what Yasui did in that bottom lane team fight, you ever seen the other guys when The Rock looks at Samuel L. Jackson and says, hey, bud, you want to aim for the bushes? And they both die in the first 5 minutes. That was that. That is not acceptable.
This is a reference I do get. Thank you, sir.
I'm glad. That movie's only like 10 years old, so I figured that I was in line with that one.
Well, there is a lot of difficulty now facing Dignitas. But again, Acadian's had such a good game. He's right back out looking for a pick on Jizuka. I like this, the mentality. They still know that they have to do this to try and get back into it, to really take control of the game for themselves. At least for them, they have not given up a dragon yet. So 50 seconds. There's still hope on the board for them.
Yeah.
If they can get themselves 2 dragon soul point, if they can win this brawl in the river, hey, maybe you can flank around. You can find Danny. Danny has no flash on this Varus. This should be your primary target. The easiest kill on the map right now should be Danny for Dignitas. You have a flash on your Gragas. Acadian's level 11 with Predator. There's plenty of burst damage here. If they can find the angle, then they can definitely, make this one true. There's a teleport ready for Yasui. So Yasui is looking topside. They don't want to rush. They want to give him time to split push. And once EG pull the trigger on that dragon, then Dig will try and collapse. They teleport in for the flank. You find your engage, and you hope you can get that burst onto the back line.
And I really like Impact's Narbar management around what could be an upcoming team fight as well. You can see him charged up to about 3/4, let it drop maybe back down to half, but that's about it.
Always the Impact, they should definitely teleport. Oh, they're not going to do it.
Nope. We've got Rift Herald here in the mid lane. We've got Contracts getting the Drake. So the soul stack is over. That's done. Herald's going to charge here in the mid lane. The charge alone is not enough to secure the turret. So honestly, Dig don't get a lot here.
Yeah, let me explain what I really wanted there. Because as soon as they have this ward here, so as soon as they see Impact, who has no teleport on top side, I was hoping for a teleport down to bottom to actually contest that dragon, knowing you have a 4v5. That to me is such a big window for this comp that you are just trying to pick people off. 4v5 scenario, you've got flashes available on your playmakers, and throw all your guns at him there. But in this case, it is exactly to EG's plan. Impact gets to go topside. He's not punished for not having his teleport. Maybe they didn't have the exact timer on the teleport, but EG get the best of all worlds, Flowers. Dragon acquired, top lane farm acquired, my teleport's back online, and we're scaling.
They are getting it done, my friend.
Look, Jizuke takes his hands off the keyboards.
Yeah, things looked like they were going so good for Dig there in the early game. 8-3 became 8-9. 6 unanswered kills by Evil Geniuses. Dignitas feel like they have lost control. They're not completely out of this one yet, but I would probably give them one more fight that they really need to show up in, because if they have another big loss, if Evil Geniuses take a Baron or something, the nails are in the coffin.
Yeah, I wanted that fight to be a minute ago.
Okay.
Well, as soon as they saw the dragon. But here we go. They have some good break points at least. Aurelia, Divine Sunder, plus Blade of the Ruin King here for Yusui. So you've got your extra oomph. You've plenty of sustain if you can continue to navigate around the fight. Danny now, though, does have both summoners up, so it just gets so much more difficult when the summoners are available for the carries of EG because their team fight is so well structured. You mentioned just moments ago the rage bar management from Impact. He's one of the best in the entire business at doing it. So EG will have constructed, Leona in front of both carries with their summoners, have Impact, split push on the bottom side, charge up your bar, teleport in. He's got flash ready, and it should be much easier now for Evil Geniuses to execute on finishing this game.
And this is one of the unique strengths of Azir when you get into a point in the game where you're ahead like this. Just the ability that Jizuke has to set up this little forward operating base here in mid lane, make it so if they have something to fall back on.
The scout tower.
Yeah, make it difficult for Dignitas to do anything about it.
Yeah, did you ever play in Warcraft 3 where you try early tower?
Were you a tower rusher? Did you do Archmage level 2 Water Elemental Brilliance Aura in the Scout Towers?
You gotta try all the strategies, okay?
That strategy
you gotta know your enemy.
So much cheese. You would get sick playing it if you were lactose intolerant.
Just go build up towers right
Just
outside of
buy all
the
the stupid temporary ones from your racial shop and then set them up right outside the enemy town. Yep, I know. I'm familiar with that strategy.
See the peons marching forward, and you're like, oh, here come the towers.
Oh no, now I have to defend against this. Yeah, it was Archmage and Naga Siren because they were both maximum range, and you just set up the towers. I remember this. Let's see what Evil Geniuses is able to do here as they push forward. Dignitas being scared out of their own jungle as EG sweeps out Vision, sets down some of their own. Yusui here in the brush will be forced to fall back further. There's another, oh no, I'm scared emote. Dignitas is really liking this one.
Yeah, Yusui's a big fan. He's been in that position quite a few times already, but they've got the Hail Mary play that you were setting up, the Baron. Here we go. Plenty of wards set down by Evil Geniuses. Makes it hard for Dig with the short range that they have to walk through these jungle corridors, but they have no options.
Okay, Baron's already at half HP. Viego and Azir can do a lot of damage to it. Afromu's going in for the 3-man knock-up, and Digger going for the wombo combo. Afromu is still alive. The shutdown on Jizuke comes
They got him, and Yusui's out!
is making a fight work. Fake God's got the stasis. He's staying alive through that. Evil Geniuses are punished. Evil Geniuses are destroyed. And Dignitas, with the miracle moment they needed, take the Baron.
They got them all grouped up in the pit flowers. They grouped them up and took them down. Yusui survives with a sliver of HP on that Aurelia, and all of a sudden, the floodgates have opened. Dig Baron strikes back. Now they get so much gold out of this. They can take the standing towers. Get ready for a banger. Yeah, well, the can of worms has been opened.
If you didn't see, that was from Fake God. That's Fake God's tweet, which is why that's even better, because Dignitas is making good on it. Let's see it again, how they punished EG.
Just look at Afromu. Afromu knows we've got no hope. We got to go right in the middle. So he gets 3, sets him up for Acadian's ultimate on the Gragas, and Yusui takes 2 down. He gets out on the execute on Gnar. Acadian then into the back wall on Danny as well. It's just EG got caught.
Yep.
Lazy there inside Baron. All eyes just on the objective. They don't mark the engagers from Dignitas. They don't respect the Afromu engage. So many teams throughout the LCS history have now respected Afromu. He makes them pay for it here. Rakan right in the middle, locks up 3 of them, and Dignitas get their combo.
And this is exactly what you were talking about back in draft, saying that Evil Geniuses are not a perfect team. They have mistakes that can be punished. They can be stopped, and you can take advantage of these risks.
All right, boys. Hands back on the keyboards.
Stupid risk. Yeah, put your hands back on the keyboards right now. That risk did not seem worth the reward.
Yeah, so one of the things, too, is that they had all of the vision lines set up. So they had vision here through the jungle headed right up to it. So when you see them approaching, you turn your objective towards counter-engaging. You turn off of the Baron there, but if you get caught inside the pit, then you also find yourself still taking Baron damage while being grouped up for some of the AoE. So super well executed by Dig, because in this situation, it's more difficult for Dig. They have very little time to work with. They cannot hesitate. And none of the members hesitated. They pulled off the comeback. Now they still have Baron. They got their third dragon, so they have their soul point for the Cloud Soul, regardless of not getting the one earlier in the game, and they're right back to sieging.
Yeah, this is already a plus 3,000 gold Baron play. This is really good for Dignitas. They feel like they have given themselves a second wind here as they'll continue pushing now, looking for their fourth cross between first and fourth. A fourth turret.
That's
of
a
the
Team
game.
Liquid special.
Yeah. It's the weird spot between those two numbers. But it is their first tier 2. It is their fourth overall turret.
It actually encapsulates the whole history of Team Liquid, because for so long they were cursed with fourth only, but then they were first only with double lift, and they won all these back to back to back to back to back. So it's really the perfect combination. A single word, Flowers, you've come up with.
Yeah. Somehow I managed to do that on accident.
Describe some LCS history.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, right now, Dignitas are looking to make history of Evil Geniuses. They've got just under 2,000 gold advantage here. They've got 3 Drakes compared to the 1 of EG. This does make the Drake that EG secured earlier much more important, because otherwise Dig would have the soul right now. So Evil Geniuses managing to at least buy a little more time on that one. And with the Baron no longer active, EG now is able to get back out onto the map. They don't feel like the team fight would be that heavily weighted against them. And so I'm curious, since both teams are now on pretty even footing, who's going to be the aggressor? Who's going to be the one who wants to start off the next fight?
So Dignitas is my gambit for who's going to be the aggressor. However, I still favor Evil Geniuses in this match because of the scaling that they have for structured team fights. And I do have faith that this was a blip on the radar, and they'll be able to set up better for the next dragon and being able to fight Dignitas over this. Or actually, the Baron comes first. So Baron setup is going to be first. They're going to have to sweep out these wards and then, get Leona and Gnar into place. So I still think, there's there are very good options for Evil Geniuses, despite this very exciting big influx of gold on the side of Dignitas.
Yeah.
And now, they have a very real chance at completing basically this entire comeback. They've got level 16 on Fake God, level 17 on Yusui. Acadian is even approaching his level 16 here, so they definitely have shown they can pull off this burst damage, but it gets very difficult to deal with the range discrepancy the longer that we go in this game, especially with the Azir. If Jizuke is able to, disengage with his ultimate, well, that becomes hard to deal with.
And look at the Evil Geniuses jungle. Again, I always like pointing this out because I think where the vision lines are drawn can tell so much about the map state and the current story of the game. All the defensive vision placed down by Evil Geniuses, especially in their own topside jungle here. Thank you for highlighting that. We've got the control wards. We've got the normal wards. Everything's placed down here because they were on the back foot after that Dignitas turnaround there at the Baron. Now I want to see if they're going to push back forward as Dignitas comes in for the punish. Danny has his flash. He used his heal to get enough movement speed to get away. A teleport's coming in from Jizuke to be ready to back them up. Yusui is not here. He's up in the top lane. He has a teleport to join if need be. Evil Geniuses now with 5 men in the top side river and mid lane area. They'll have control over the Baron pit.
That was a pretty good look. These are super low cooldowns that Dig used to try and make this pick off. The Predator this late in the game, super quick. Here's the teleport in.
Yasui's ready to go. Emperor's Divide already comes out early. Jizuke's going to get caught. There is no stasis to save him. Dignitas are coming up huge when it matters the most. Yasui's ready to continue the chase. Now he's going to get jumped on. Dignitas will lose their mid laner, but only after he's already got himself a double kill. Evil Genius is trying to fight back with Acadian about to drop now. Contracts are going to go in here for the reset and impact the big man on campus. He don't go to the party. He is the party. And Evil Geniuses get the ace.
El Contractor! Let's go one! He gets the kills here, cleaning up on the Viego. My goodness, man, that is a Viego endgame fantasy. Yes, Jizuke gets pinpointed, killed instantly, and you think Dignitas are gonna run this one over. Flowers, I was about to shout, that's gonna be Baron, after he's unable to ult anyone back on the Azir, and yet the turn. Once Contracts comes out of his stasis, he picks up the soul, and Impact says, hey, I can turn this. He gets the ultimate against the wall. Here's the initial play, though. So good from Dig. You think this is going to be it. Acadian follows it up with a Dream knockback on 2. They've got him on the run into the end of the jungle here. But then, when Contracts and them burst down the Aurelia, he picks up the soul, flashes out, and Impact turns it right back around onto the wall. Danny is firing away on the Varus, but it's all about this Viego. Reset after reset. He's able to use the Renekton so well, too. Gets off his W for the reset there, then instantly ults. Just well done Viego play. And that's something that does come from these players that I know play Phil. Here's a little surprise for Impact in topside, though.
Okay, Impact getting caught out. The ulti's going to knock him back. So Impact picked off there. Very, very nice pickup for the side of Dignitas, buying themselves an extra moment of reprieve against the Evil Geniuses Baron. You're praising Contracts super heavily for that, but I also got to make sure that Impact is getting the credit he deserves for making sure that he navigated that fight coming around from the side. Big ulti, making sure they can start off getting the kill on Acadian, and then tanking up, surviving Neo while Contracts goes to tank.
I just love, because we see so many times when people are focused on Viego as a champion and they complain about the OP, you just reset, just using the ultimate. He was able to effectively use the champion kit before using the ultimate on these resets.
Which is the initial design of what it's for.
Exactly. That is the fantasy for the champion. That's what you want to see when you see that champion, played. And those are the big moments. But there were so many good plays leading up to it. I have to say for Dignitas, the initial pick, of course, onto Jizuke, but then Acadian's follow-up too, getting both of them in his body slam flash into the ultimate, getting those flashes. Quite a slugfest here. And then the Dragon was picked up in the aftermath there by EG as well, so they stave off the Dragon Soul again. And every time we have this game prolonged, it further advantages Evil Geniuses. So that's a very clutch team fight by them to actually salvage a losing scenario where Dig made such a good engagement.
But to point out the importance of the pick onto Impact that Dignitas just found, only now is Evil Geniuses making their way onto the tier 2 turret here in the top lane. There's only 30 seconds left on the Baron. So they did lose a lot of time by not having that full 5-man roster out on the map. Yes, they have Dignitas stuck back in their base, but critically for Dig, they still have all 3 inhibitor turrets, right? The base itself, that line of defense still stands in all 3 lanes.
It certainly does. And here goes Aframush Aurelius.
He's ready to go in after Danny. Gets the charm, gets the knock-up. Danny's in a bad spot. Tries to throw out an arrow. Neo's going to lose half HP. The resurrection comes through. Jizuke gets away, and Danny is left to the wolves. He tries to take Neo with him, but he won't get the kill.
Aframu highlighting his Quicksilver Satch purchase there as he QSS's off Danny's ultimate, just continues to charge him down, gets the engage. Acadia now looking for Contracts.
Contracts needs to be a little bit careful here. Over the wall he goes. That ultimate, such a powerful escape tool.
Aframu still has eyes on him.
Okay, nope, just dashes away out of that one. Turns around, puts a little damage back onto the Dignitas support. A lot of damage onto Ignar, though. Acadian and Yasui taking him down. Yasui's Irelia very, very powerful right now. They have to respect how much damage he can do. Contracts without an ulti means it will be more difficult to escape. Has to flash over the stun. Dashes right back out of the follow-up, but they're still going to keep the dive going underneath the turret. Contract's going to get shut down, and Dignitas will not go quietly into the night. Neo's ready, baby. There go the feathers. Impact stands alone. Impact dies alone.
Did you see Jizuke? That was a legit two-hit. He poofed upon arrival. Oh my goodness, Dignitas do it, Flowers! The long chase, they're in the base, that is gonna do it! Dignitas, they make a comeback in this game, they make a comeback in this series!
They're gonna tie it up. Danny and Ignar cannot defend here in a 2v5. It was close, it was back and forth, it was a battle, and Dignitas are here to play, 1-1.
The long chase out of their own territory there by Dignitas. Contracts was then too far forward, pushing up in the aftermath after they had gotten picked off as Dignitas. They keep it up, and my goodness, that burst damage and that dive potential, they're really on display. Whew. We're on a roller coaster this game.
Yeah, that was honestly back and forth. It was hard to tell who was going to win either way. The whole time we're talking about EG's scaling, but a couple of big mistakes, a couple of really good punishes from Dignitas meant they were able to pull out the win, and we got ourselves a series, buddy.
Fake God promised a banger, and Fake God delivered.
Fake God didn't lie. Changed his name to Real God. He's talking some real stuff. You know,
he's the prophet delivering the message from the real God.
And now we've seen that Dignitas knows how to make the changes that they needed to make. You mentioned in draft, hey, I want to see a different game plan. And hey, the different game plan worked. Now,
fight them.
What do we get to see from Evil Geniuses? I want to see how they adapt to a Dignitas that has showed they can fight back. We're going to be heading to another break here, but on the other side of that break, we're heading over to the State Farm Analyst Desk. While we go, we've got a little taste of tomorrow's next level, featuring EG's contracts and our own literal world champion. Check it out.
Who, in your experience, was the worst top laner to play against in scrims?
It's funny saying this because everyone would probably say me. But people also target me, I'll say that. And this guy knows too, he's targeted me as well.
I played Academy for one split and then I succeeded you as well. This
That one, I was...
You're just following me as the snake. He's gonna be the host of the show next week.
Because right now, I think most players are like terrified of like the poaching rules. They're like
scared of that and WoW. Poached whoever I wanted.
You had a game in LCS where you died typing level 1, right?
Oh yeah, I probably would have died anyways, but yeah, these little weasels, man. I can't believe them for doing that.
LCS is such a taxing career.
It's like, what else do you play? Nothing. You know, like what else do you do? League of Legends, right? Like that is your life.
It's never been easier to stay in touch, so we never miss the chance to show how much we care. And thanks to all of you who used your MasterCard to order online or tap in store at restaurants and grocery stores, MasterCard is donating $5 million to Stand Up to Cancer. Together is how we help start something priceless.
Can't believe that Daniel deal you got me on my insurance.
Daniel, State Farm offers surprisingly great rates to everyone.
Sure you do. You want to meet the Queen?
I'm not dressed for that. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
No brakes, all gas, no brakes. I'ma ride this thing till the wheels fall off. Catch my drift, pop my clutch. Pedal, metal, skirt, peel off. Top peeled off, choke on my dust. I want it all, but it's never enough. I've been running the map, I'ma keep it a buck. I've been so overheaded, ain't no catching up. All gas, no brakes, all gas, no brakes, all gas, no brakes. I'm running it. All gas, no brakes, all gas, no brakes, all gas, no brakes. I'm running it. I'm pumping my brakes, yeah, get out my way, yeah, give me some space, yeah, better do what I say. Life on the run, I be making these moves. Say what I wanna, can't walk in my shoes. Do what I wanna, I'm nobody's fool. Now I'm on top, hate to give you the news. If you did it, I done it. You do not run it, your tank is on me. Now let's keep it 100. You running on fumes, I'm taking no breaks. It is worth having if you gotta wait. Let's get it straight, this is my fate. My destiny calling like I got a date. I'ma be ballin' like I'm moving weight. Now let's even the odds so you know it's at stake. And get it, adios. I've been at the top, you ain't even close. Randy Moss, the competition toast. Hail Mary, catch it, then I'm ghost. Out of here, gone. Changing my number, no calling my phone. Trust me, I'm focused, I'm all in my zone. I made a living from proving them wrong. Come hella, I want it, whatever the cost. Started off local and now I'm a boss. Don't bet against me, you be taking a loss. Say what I want, I'm driven with sauce.
Welcome back to the LCS. Game 2 of this playoff series is done, and it wasn't an EG victory. Dignitas QNTMPAY. They brought it out.
Happy.
I know we were talking about the EG victory being expected in game number 1, but I think Dignitas showed out here strong all the way from the start. And guess where the aggression was coming from? Exactly where we expected it to.
Yeah, and I think also just starting from the draft, they put themselves in a position where they can scrap with themselves, right? Like, they got the Aurelie there for Yusui. They have the Renekton there top lane for Fake God. And this is something that they've won games on during the split, and I enjoyed it.
Even the Gragas, which is not I mean, it makes a lot of plays in the early game, and Acadian can play it, so it was a good matchup there for the double AD solo laners. You also have this magic damage coming in. So overall, love the draft and love the approach to the game of just getting in the lanes as early as Acadian possibly can.
Exactly. This is pre-spawning of Scuttle Crab. Ships just basically passing in the night. Contracts didn't see him come through there because he'd taken full camp spot side and then went for the gank top lane, while bot lane 2v2 was working in Neo and Afremoon's favor. So this is just right out the gates. Dignitas scrapping and coming out with a win.
I really like the pivot here from Afremoon. He likes fighting. Braum can't really start fights. You throw a Q, wait another 3 seconds before you fight. Rakan, can kind of just jump in. And the fact that Yusui goes in for this kill, I really like that. I was watching on Pro View, him playing this lane. I'm like, if you don't dive this guy at this wave, you are playing your champion wrong. Thankfully, they did the dive, and they're able to snowball the game pretty heavily.
And the common factor for all of this has been Acadian. The gank top lane was Acadian there. The dive mid lane, Acadian set that up as well. In general, he recognized he needed to be on the map and working fairly quickly, and I think he did a great job at that.
I think they also just outplayed EG in a lot of ways. So you saw Danny just totally whiff that all. Ignar whiffed his as well. I mean, there was just a lot of misplays on the side of EG. Even that bot lane fight that they won the 2v2 was EG trying to be aggressive. And I think Dignitas, with the scrappier champions, could actually punish when EG misplayed, because it's not like we all know EG plays the cleanest game in the world. So you just got to be ready to capitalize.
Yeah, 2 parts to that. In the early game, Dignitas making sure to find those advantages and go for it. And then when the team fighting came around major objectives, hey, it was working out for them as well.
Right.
Yeah, I would only say that, you remember, Evil Geniuses did exactly what Peter had said in the interview, and the fact that they played a slower game, they got mid lane turret easily with Rift Herald, and so they had a goal lead coming into this Baron fight. The fight was definitely something they didn't want. You don't want a 50-50 in this moment.
This is one of those situations where you say you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. On one side, you got 4 melees running at you, slamming into you. On the other side, you have Baron, and you really have nowhere to go. If that Azir was on the enemy team, that would have been the best ulti ever. Pushing 4 of the enemy members into Baron. But that was his own team members. No one got pushed in. There's only 1 person in. And then you're just like, hey, I got 4 champions coming on my left. I got a Baron on my right. Where can I go? Nowhere.
Yeah, that's why, if you're ever put in a situation like this, your mentality should always be to turn for that fight. They had good vision. They expected for sure Dignitas was going to contest them, but they kind of did nothing about it. And the Baron was nowhere near in completion. So at that point, it's like, why were you there to begin with?
But they made their intentions clear later on, too. Dignitas were chasing down for the W and putting EG on the back foot.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at this chase down sequence, I'm just like, why are you in a 1-3-1 setup with a largely front-to-back team fight and team comp? I mean, Contracts is split up to the top side. He has no way to get into a fight that could break out in the mid lane. And so Dignitas do a great job jumping on this Danny, who has no defensive tools around him. There's absolutely no one to save this AD carry. And then because, they have this 4v5 situation now, Dignitas is like, well, we're just going to keep chasing you down. And so I think EG made a lot of mistakes this game, because like we talked about, they had leads. But Dignitas did a fantastic job punishing every time that they went for one of these risky Barons, this weird lane setup that can easily be punished. I think they did a really good job.
Right, I want to give some credits to Afremoon this game. I think this game would have been lost if it wasn't for him getting that pick onto Azir mid. Granted, they lost Baron afterwards, but he also got the pick onto Varus. He played that Baron fight really well. Pretty much his entire engages and his build is really smart. He rushed QSS so that way he can run at them, press QSS when Varus ultis them and still go. I thought that was really smart. Generally, most people wouldn't do that. I think they'd probably rush like a Shrelia's or even a Locket, but he got QSS really early so he could continue to engage.
Yeah, I did not expect, just even watching that, how much damage Jizuke took just off that little burst at the very end. Overall, looking at this game, I felt like Evil Geniuses did a poor job at the very early game, knowing that they outscaled. And then on top of that, when they had full control, because they were the better macro team, playing the map really well, I mean, they threw it once again. So this was still in Evil Geniuses' control until the very end.
In the end, though, it is 1-1 on the scoreboard. EG going back to blue side for game number 3. While we get ready to see if Dignitas QNTMPAY can pull ahead in this series, it's time for our first taste of local segment delivered by Grubhub. Grubhub has just launched the Grubhub Guarantee, which makes sure that you get the lowest price on delivery time compared to every other delivery app. If not, you'll get $5 more off on your next order. So let's go ahead and kick it to Broxa to learn about the difference between Indian curry and Danish curry.
I think you can share a lot of cool experiences around food. Having someone to like explore these different areas of food with and try all these different things with is really cool. Last year, at one point we were in a lockdown and I couldn't really go outside much, and me and my 2 roommates found this one Indian place that I really liked. One of my favorite dishes is chicken coconut curry. I've grown up with Danish curries, but they're very different. Danes don't really use that much spice when we make food. It's just mostly salt and pepper. But when you eat Indian, there's so many spices and herbs. I've had this one dish from this same Indian place probably at least 20 times, and the same for my roommates. Okay, maybe they didn't quite hit the same amount, but they're up there as well.